You're watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 15th meeting of Trail Creek Town Council. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Everyone can stand and join us in saying the pledge to open the meeting. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for coming to our August meeting for the Town Council. Council, have you all had a chance to review the minutes from July 18th?
Yeah, I have.
Were there any questions or corrections, changes? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the July meeting?
I move to approve the minutes from the July meeting. I second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to the fund report. Has everyone had a chance to review the fund report? And Jocelyn, if you would, again, there was the MS4 settlement that looks like.
Yes.
So you'll see fund number 2501.
That was actually received last month. We put
Okay.
it on the fund report last month as well. It was $17,000 and some change.
Yep.
And it came from a settlement from California, although I did call to make sure it was legit. It absolutely was. Other court treasurers in the area received it as well. Anybody close to a body of water received
Fantastic.
some portion of that.
So that should help us to offset the cost for MS4 for this year.
That was a national lawsuit?
Yes.
Wow.
It's just in time for us.
Yeah, nice.
Any questions or comments on the fund report, Council? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the fund report?
I'll make a motion to approve the fund report as presented.
Thank you, Kyle. Second?
I'll second.
And we'll give that to Warren. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to payment of the bills.
Healthcare is a hard pill to swallow. There it is.
$13,000.
Any questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve payment of the bills?
Your motion to approve the bills.
Thank you, Warren. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Pete. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Any correspondence this month? Yes. Moving on, for MS4, I know that we are still working with Nicole Massacre from, and the name of, thank you, Global Land Surveying. I could think of Shem Khalil, but I couldn't think of the company's name. And Nicole and I are going to meet here, and she emailed Jocelyn as well about the same thing, to do a tour of the facilities here. So I think the three of us will try to get together.
Yeah, she emailed the street department.
As
They
well.
normally will handle, are we talking about the audit?
Yeah, she wants to come out and do the audit,
Right,
so.
they normally handle the audit, so I forwarded it to you, I believe.
So I'll get together with Dave and set something up then.
I'd be happy to help anywhere I can, I'm just not well versed in
Does he have the same phone number that Joe had before?
Yes.
Does he have the phone right now? Okay. So I will contact Dave and get that set up. And that is the only information and update we have for MS4 at this time. So we'll move on to our attorney.
Not much to update. 1901 Cool Spring, that looks like that is a private issue. You know, it isn't 100% whether any of that drainage is located on your right of way, but it isn't a sanitary district issue. So really it's back at some point if you decide you want to run cameras and be helpful with anything that I can see that you're required to do.
So it is a
Private, it's on private property and privately
So it belongs to them.
It appears, I mean, it looks like there could be with the apartment complex who's really denied anything, but we have nothing that we're required to do at this time.
Did you get any help or correspondence from
Nothing that's
sanitary
different.
district?
Yeah, nothing's different, that's their position.
So we deserve a letter to the homeowner then,
Yes.
right?
Yes, would you like to
Sure way.
send them? Mhm.
And
And the primary thing with that was when the snow melts, right?
I think when the snow melts and when there was a heavy rain.
Is it big storms also?
have you heard anything with these big ones at all? I mean, anybody from the town?
I've not.
I haven't seen anything over. Usually, I drive around and I haven't seen any like standing water over there. So, and we got 2 inches of rain, that one night. So,
But last time I talked to her, I think it was in June, she had mentioned that when they got a really big rain there, that it floods her basement.
That's what I was wondering, I mean, we've had some pretty
Yeah,
good
I
rain,
haven't-
so.
She hasn't contacted me. I don't know. She's.
yeah, I was under the impression that it only happened because when the apartment complex plows their snow, the big piles, they melt, and then that's when she was having issues.
Well, I would imagine there are things that stop up the drain at that point too.
Right.
So.
So my only thing was is if we do make contact with her, maybe she could talk to the apartments and have them put their piles of snow someplace else.
Yeah, that would be,
Okay.
it seems like they've otherwise ignored even the district in the past, so.
Got it.
Okay.
Harding, looks like some of that is trying to resolve itself. Josh Lean, not to speak for her, but received a call from New Owner, which is a nonprofit out of Illinois. They got this property for a deal and then realized why. I think they're pretty well versed in dealing with such things, but that they don't own the entire thing. So they actually are being proactive. Called me for information that I couldn't help them out, but I did point them to Beacon and some things where they could find and let them know that their co-owner or neighbor certainly is keeping the taxes up. They were seeking a resolution of either buying out or being bought out. So I mean, at least I think my recommendation is that we monitor that and make sure some progress. We do have name and phone number of somebody who owns it now. So
Did they seem to indicate whether they wanted to rehab the property or what their intent
well, I think
was?
they need to figure out if they want to fix it up and make it habitable.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Which that would be great.
No, they're stuck. Once
Right,
they started doing a little due
They're
diligence.
stuck as we are.
But there is progress and they are making an attempt and they were going to formally reach out and make an offer to the other gentleman neighbor to see, hey, buy us out, we'll buy you out and move forward.
That
So
would be awesome.
So they've had some negotiations between.
they're trying. They were calling me for some information that I don't have anything other than that, what they could find in public records to reach out to the person individually. So
Okay.
I pointed them in the direction that I could.
Okay. Anything else?
And lastly, with regard to notices for the town hall project, I'll move forward and set those dates of publication in the next couple of weeks with the goal of being, unless something changes, and I'll inform you before your special meeting, I think you said at the end of this month, with the goal of being in a position to award the contract at September's meeting. Because we won't have enough time to
To do anything
everything
before.
to do it for your special meeting, but it's a few weeks from there.
Is it 10 days? 10?
The publication, we have to give them time to put everything together. The publications are twice, 1 week apart, and at least 10 days before you open the bid, so we won't really, that'll be pushing it. And you wanna make sure you give people time. I mean, you only had 2 last time, so
So our,
your September meeting.
Is on the
So
19th.
my plan was to just set a bid opening date that I can attend. It could be Josh Lynn and I, not to offer, but try to do it during business hours. And then we can make a recommendation. I can share those with the council and put you in a position to actually award the contract versus have to have the bid opening at your next regular meeting. So the bids come in where you want them to.
All right. We definitely want to keep this ball rolling.
and then if you'll let me know when you're opening them, I'd want to be there for that part.
Yeah, so as soon as Warren and I will confirm with Josh Lean the dates
The dates.
that work out from around the publication and make sure that works for, during business hours.
Okay,
That's all I have.
all right. All right, so moving on to Ken, how are you?
I'm good. The only thing I have is an update of the status for the CCMG project. At the last meeting, I reported that the notice to proceed was issued. Since then, all of the contract information has been sent to NDOT for their review and approval, which they've done and approved, and released the funds to the town for use on this project. So the next thing to happen would be to commence construction. That was supposed to start this week, but they didn't get the shop drawings in time for them to be reviewed. So as soon as we get the shops reviewed and approved, they hope to start next week sometime. But we haven't seen the shop drawings yet to say everything's good to go.
Okay, so if they don't come in next week, it'll be the last week of the month, so that within the next 2 weeks it should start?
It should. It should begin the week of August 28th.
Okay,
So it's like 2 weeks from now.
okay.
And when, from the time they start, what is the anticipated completion of all projects?
Oh, I don't know that.
Okay,
I'm sure it was in the bid documents on
okay, I'll have to
when
look back.
the end time was supposed to be,
Okay,
but I don't remember what it was.
Okay, thank you. Anything further, or that's?
Nope, that's all I've got.
All right. Then we'll move on to the park department. So Sharon, I'll let you give the update for the park board.
I just attended that last meeting, but I didn't attend the meeting yesterday because it was no.
Okay. I did not attend the meeting either yesterday, so I don't have an update from that, and I don't see a park board member here.
I can give an update, I
Okay.
did attend last night's meeting.
Great.
They did go through a full agenda. Their main priority right now is to schedule their next meeting on August 23rd at 5:30 PM. They're meeting here and then going to walk the grounds and look for safety issues that need to be immediately repaired.
Okay.
That's the main goal. We did talk about Fall Festival and Trunk or Treat. Those are things that we'll talk about as the meetings progress.
Okay.
But right now, their main concern is safety.
Okay. And I think they may want to talk to the marshal about trunk or treat for it, because I know that that was something he wanted
President
to.
had planned to, yes.
Okay. All right. So moving on then, do we have anything, our building inspector's not here with us this evening? Anything for planning and zoning?
nope.
Anything from our police department this evening?
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I'm not at the park tonight. Couple of things. Jason Speakman graduates Thursday. He called today, he passed his final exam, so it's a done deal. He just has to get through his EVO, which is the Emergency Vehicle Operation course. And then on Thursday, he'll review that and go to graduation. So he'll be back on the road Monday evening, he'll enjoy the weekend off, and he'll be back on the grind.
Nice.
We're certainly looking forward to having
That's
that.
great. Congrats to Jason.
Absolutely. Please.
Anyway.
On the subject of Halloween, I know we tend to wait for Michigan City before we commit to a date, but I'm trying to line some stuff up, and obviously trunk or treat is one of them, but there's some other things I want to line up. But the problem is it's got to have a date.
So,
And we're looking at either the 31st, which is Tuesday, or the 29th, or the 28th, which is Saturday, Sunday, Saturday in that order, the 28th, 29th. I'm not looking for a commitment, but we gotta.
do you have a preference? I know some of the vendors you talked about,
Correct.
did they have schedules that they have to adhere to? that-
No, but I want to get to them, I want to get commitments from them far enough in advance.
Council opinions?
I go for a Sunday, usually get off a weekday,
Because it's a mad rush then to get off.
yeah.
So you would suggest the 29th, which is that Sunday?
Yeah, I go for Sunday, Saturday or Sunday.
I agree with Warren for sure. Trying to anticipate, the city usually has their trick or treat on Halloween,
Halloween.
so,
So, and that poses, because then we've got
right.
A rush
a
of,
rush on that
families.
as well.
Right.
To increase, that's why I don't know if there's many rumbles as to what Michigan City plans to do this year.
I
It's
have
always nice to
not
have it on the
heard.
same day.
It is nice to have it the same day. Typically, again, they are on Halloween night. If you don't mind, I'll check and get back to you.
Yeah, if you guys could, if we could just make a date, then I can start lining up
Do
some
you
of
mind
those
if I set the
things.
date?
It doesn't matter.
Council, do you mind if I set the
I
date?
don't mind.
The volume of kids going to my house is.
But if
No matter what.
If we have the option, I would say that Sunday the 29th would probably be the
Yeah,
best
I'm
option.
making a difference. I forget what I work. I think I work Tuesday, which means I'm off Sunday. So either way, it doesn't make a difference to me. It takes quite a bit of the day to prepare for that because it does take a while to boil 20-some gallons of water on a residential stove. So,
Is there a reason why we tied it into Michigan City?
Just for traffic reasons, for traffic.
cuts down on the traffic considerably.
It does.
And we still have quite a bit of traffic,
Keeps everybody in their own lane.
more or less.
And not that we don't want people coming into our town or enjoying our town at all. It just keeps things a little more even,
Right.
so.
Yeah, it's tough enough.
But I'll talk to some people down at town hall or at city hall and we'll get that figured out.
That'll work.
Okay,
That's all I have for tonight.
that's it?
Yeah, I apologize. I can continue on, but it's just not.
All right.
Well, please tell Jason we said congratulations.
Yes,
We look forward to seeing him back on the road.
I'm sure we'll see him on the bout,
So
so.
you'll see it.
Looking forward to that.
And you and your force, keep up the good work.
And we appreciate that. We appreciate
Thank you,
your support as always. Reach out if you need me.
Will do. Warren, do we have an update for ADA for that? Maybe we don't have the report.
Nothing updated on that, but I can add, if you're after, I have one more. Here is our sign for next year's sign, welcome
Yes.
sign. I have been in contact with the school and Steve also, and they're getting ready.
Okay,
They're excited to be working with us, and we're, right now, I think, we sent Steve, collect some information they were asking for, and we sent it to them already, so
fantastic.
we'll keep you updated.
We're looking forward to seeing the drafts on that.
Yeah, nothing until they get going.
That's still exciting. Okay,
Can I go back to the park board real quick?
yes,
I did receive some preliminary signs, and they kind of missed the mark, so I have to go in there and have a little chat with them. So the park signs for Prince Park, the two, that is in the works. I did get some they missed the mark, so I'm gonna go sit and talk to them again. So
thank you.
it's in the works.
Okay. And if you'll kind of keep me updated on that, just as things go along, so I know the
You
timetables
know,
are
I'll forward you the email,
Okay.
and we'll see what I'm saying when I say I missed it.
much appreciated. Anything for NERC? Okay. Moving on, looks like we have no old business. So we will move on to new business. We have Mike, who is here to talk about the golf carts.
I have nothing to do with it. I'm still seeking
Okay.
approval.
Okay. So, did you have any new information for us?
Nothing other than I sent, there's nothing to support that they are. The towns vary in terms of what, if you wanna put restrictions on there. I sent a draft of an ordinance that's used in another community that I was involved with. So really it's a determination of how you wanna move
How we want
forward,
to
yeah,
move forward
and
with that.
whether you want to allow them with some restrictions or not allow them at all, as you don't get now.
Council?
Well, I'm gonna go on record and say, if we as a body could work the logistics out, I'm all for it. You know, it's the new trend. A lot of towns have it, you know, before just passed their golf cart thing. You named several other towns that allow it. If we can work out the logistics of it, Mike, I'm all for it. You know, but safety, has to be priority number one, obviously, and if we can get around that and everybody's happy with what we come up with, I'm for it.
Thank you. I won't be back till June, so I'm going down to Florida next month.
Well, so then we've got a little time to work this out.
You've got plenty of time.
Okay.
Call again.
I was gonna say, if you would, let's exchange contact information so that we can give you updates.
I
And
thought I gave that to you once.
I don't know if I have, let me see if I have it in my notebook, because I might not have it written down here.
But you did take it from
I have, maybe we can verify it then. I don't have it in this notebook. And this is kind of where I keep everything.
Okay.
And
Now you
just to make
just wrote
sure.
on a big blank sheet of
Yeah,
paper.
don't let me do that. Make sure that I do it here next time.
Okay,
But we'll get that, and I'll make sure that I get in touch with you so that we can keep you up to date on it.
thank you.
Thank you. We have 1919 East Cool Spring. What was that, 1901? I don't know what that was about.
1919.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Okay,
drainage.
so that's the drainage issue?
No, yes. Did you want to talk about it, or should I?
I can talk about my part in it.
Everything I've heard is secondhand, so.
Okay.
What I've heard was, in the middle of July, the resident at 1919 came to Josh Lee with a request to fill the ditch in front of his house and had some photos of flooding.
He did have, no, not a flooding, he
No,
was just
just-
showing the ditch.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was in the middle of July. Well, last week, they called my office and talked to Ryan Laughlin, one of our engineers, and wanted to know what the status was of our review. Well, that was the first that we heard of it, because Josh Ling sent it to the street department to have them take a look at it first.
We had them look at it first, we normally do.
Right, and that's a good policy.
And was this on town property then, or was this town found to be on their own property, this ditch?
Well, what the street department came back and said is that it is, of course, remember, I'm sitting at my desk taking phone
Right.
calls. So, street department did come back and indicate that it was on the town property. He indicated there was a drainage pipe there, and that if he had covered it with dirt, which is what this gentleman wanted to do, eventually it would clog the drain. So the street
You can't
department's
do that.
answer was no.
Yeah.
I did contact Mr. Kutzer back, and I did explain to him that actually that night, we were having a meeting, and I indicated that the engineer would be here as well as all of our council members if he would like to come and express his concern.
Okay.
And he did not. 3 weeks later, I'm getting a call from Ryan, and it becomes this big thing.
Okay.
Of course, Ryan had no idea what the guy was talking about,
Right.
because we hadn't seen any information on it.
Because we didn't take it to the engineer because it
Right.
stopped at the street department.
So Ryan called me, and I said I didn't know anything about it either, and I said that he should call Josh Lean and find out what's going on and what we need to do, if anything. And Josh Lean said we should not do
No, you don't do
anything
anything.
until the board says we should do something.
Until the board has a chance to speak with the street department, because again, I'm not an engineer and
Can
I'm
I-
not a street person.
Can I jump in? Can we back up and just start, what was the original problem? or
Thank you.
Why is it?
Right.
He wants his yard to look nice.
Right.
He wants to fill in the ditch and put grass over it.
Is this to the,
It's going
If
parallel?
you go straight down to Edgewater and you hit the stop sign, it's straight ahead.
it's to the west of this property, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's literally straightforward from the stop sign.
So this ditch is parallel with Cool Spring?
It looks like it's on the property line to me.
Well, I think it's in the right of way between the edge of the road and the right of way line.
And he
And it
wanted,
goes to the back of the
Wants to
property,
fill
right?
in the ditch
It doesn't?
It parallels Cool Spring.
It does.
and potentially build on it.
Yeah,
As part of the
yeah.
discussion. And so I do what I always do, I direct the call to the right person,
yeah,
direct it to the street department.
yeah. So it's on our easement, it's,
It looks to me like it ties into another ditch that goes to the back of the property though.
Oh, well, I'm not sure where it goes. I only looked at it on Google Earth.
That's what I'm doing right now, and I can see that, and it goes to another ditch to the west of his property, and then it goes down between the two properties to the back of the properties.
Yeah, but I'm not sure which direction it flowed.
Right.
To save a little time, I think what we should do is maybe table this a little bit
I think we need,
for the review.
Well, Bob's taking a
That's a little
look at
unclear
it,
what's going on.
and Bob was pretty certain that it was on town property.
It is.
And that it should not be
Yeah,
built
touch.
in.
Right.
Yeah.
this is,
That's right.
Correct.
Bob said,
Bob,
I'm not, sorry.
Joe,
Joe?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it's
And
absolutely in the
that's why it
right of
stopped
way.
there, because I wanted the council to make the decision on whether we should send you out, because obviously
No.
that's extra money.
right.
And, I mean, not to sound shallow or anything, but it does add up, dollars add up, and that's my job. So I wanted to make sure that they spoke with the street department and had an opportunity to review themselves.
Right. Now, if you wanted us to go out there and design a new ditch,
Right.
That would be
Go out there
different.
and
Glad they
do
do that. I understand.
While I would love to say yes to that, I would have to decline that offer. Just
that. I
in the
totally understand.
interest of financial prudence in the town right now. But we will not be filling in that.
No.
Absolutely not.
I would have to agree with our street department commissioner, or former now street department commissioner. No, because that drain would affect more than just Mr. Pitzer.
Absolutely.
Like I said, it looks to me like that actually drains and then goes back between the properties into another ditch. So, yeah, no.
So, okay. So we'll move on from that.
So who would like to contact the resident?
If you'll give me the information, I'll contact
Sure.
her. It's fine with me. Moving on to the Hassan Associates invoices.
If I may
Sure.
jump on that a little bit, everything was this verbal? The gentleman calling, and is there a letter? Or any something in black and white?
No.
Because I'm just thinking, shouldn't we, if we're gonna respond, we should respond in black and white?
I will speak in first and then I'll document the conversation.
Alright,
But I do have Joe's response as well.
okay, as
So,
long as it's
okay,
dated.
I agree.
everything has to be documented. Okay, so moving on to our invoices from Hassan Associates, there were several. Has council had time to review those?
Yes.
Any questions? So the total of the invoices is $10,678. We'll need a motion to approve that amount to be paid for Hassan Associates. Keeping in mind that our contracted services line item on your fund report. So you can kind of see where things are. Actually, it's not on your fund report, but in the budget.
Right?
Right, we would not put it in contractor services, that line items are very
So
low.
where were you planning to take this one
The
from?
engineer line item, we started the year with 20,000, so far we've been billed 37, including this. So what I did is I moved everything they did as far as CCMG
Over to
Riverboat,
Okay.
which is gonna ease us up to pay this invoice. But I don't know moving forward from August to December where we're going to work the money.
Okay.
So something to consider for the next invoice. Because there's gonna be oversight too to the CCMG, correct?
Right, there'll be inspection work, plus contract administration.
Do you have an approximate of what that might be? Just off the top of your head?
I don't,
Okay.
you know, if everything goes really smoothly, there's of course not as much inspection or administration work, but who knows how these jobs go. Keep your fingers crossed and they'll keep the costs down.
So you feel comfortable right now for this group.
For
this one.
For this one.
Yeah.
Yes, because I did make those adjustments to,
Yeah, well, I make a motion to accept.
yeah, that's,
And I will second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Thank you. Motion passes. Moving back to our agenda, which I just reviewed. Do we have any, we do have one more piece of new business in offering
Oh, yeah.
Bill Young the street department commissioner position formally. So we need a motion to approve Mr. Young as the street department commissioner.
I'll move to approve William Young as our new street department commissioner.
And a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
What's his first name?
William?
Thank you.
Certainly. Okay, moving on to public comment. Do we have any public comment this evening? If you'll approach the podium, give us your name and address, and we can,
I'm Bill Newton from 604 Black Oak. And we have a dangerous situation on there. On the 29th of July, if I can hand these out,
please.
shows.
I know what
these are
this
not
is gonna be.
copies, or- This shows different angles, same thing. But there's a couple of diseased trees. Something stuck together, here we go.
Are these in the right of way?
So on the 29th, after a pretty heavy storm, at about 7:45 in the morning, the tree closest to the pole, it's shown on there, broke. And it fell on that pole, took out the cross arms on that pole and on the one which would be to the east of that one. Took the transformer out, and it was out for 13 hours. NIPSCO had to finally send a contractor because they were busy doing other work because storms came through. And this is the second time that this has happened. These trees are diseased, and they should be removed. And just them being there is probably gonna cause other oak trees to be diseased. And I realize it's on this guy's property. And you can see that one huge limb is hanging right over the same pole that it took out previous. So it's just a matter of time that this thing is also, these trees are rotten on the inside. And you can see the data lines are still hanging there. These pictures were just taken about 2 hours ago. So kids could go over and start swinging on these data lines or get in trouble with them. The electric lines, of course, they were talking about. But I think this is something that requires some attention. Not sure how to go about this. I don't know if you guys get hold of Asplund or Davy, or you have to go through NIPSCO. I have no idea how that all works. But it's a dangerous situation. And I definitely want to bring it up. If you guys want to chime in, these are my neighbors. In fact, probably 200 homes were knocked out when this happened.
So we'll have you state your name and address as well, if I may.
Yeah, I'm Danny Bell,
Thank you.
2015 Wilsmith,
Okay.
and they knocked the whole street from Johnson Road all the way down
Yeah, it took
the whole area.
there's two phases that come up from Johnson Road. It took both of those phases out. So a lot of people were out of service for quite a while. So, and it's gonna happen again. That's the reason I'm here. It's gonna happen again, unless something is done. So both of these trees, even the one that has no limbs on it right now, it's leaning also toward the road, which is not a good thing.
So those trees are on private property, is that correct?
Yes.
Question. Is this something NIPSCO should be looking at?
I'm sure they're aware.
I'm sure they're aware, although I don't know about your experience. My experience with NIPSCO, when I've mentioned trees that are leaning to them, They only want things that are a danger to the lines immediately. So things that are growing into the lines are what they're looking at.
Right. I think there's fall into that.
I know exactly what this is. Actually, what happened here is this tree actually fell into this tree and knocked that one off.
Does an arborist look at it and determine that?
Right.
Well, I've been around, I've been.
Because these trees look pretty
We
healthy.
have a connection with them, so.
Early in my life, I know what these trees.
I used to, I don't
And
anymore.
these are both oaks.
I can try, I have a connection
They're
with Davies,
from the
but
inside.
I don't know that they are contracted.
Yeah, they're not contracted to do that.
Let's see.
I mean,
They're
they're not.
contracted with NIPSCO, but they have to get permission before they can
I was
take down a tree.
Yes.
Sometimes dispatch has a.
But we
I
don't have a
had
connection.
dispatch call about the lines on Friday, and I also told the resident that called in that they need to call AT&T about the lines.
So that's actually, that's
That's data.
ADS, Automated Data Services, that's, it's Acme Communications, exactly
Oh,
who
that's
that,
there.
that's who that is, yeah, Bill
Just
Ritchie
talked to that
down.
guy today.
Yep, that's whose those are.
Okay, I'll call him tomorrow.
Thank you.
But that
That's
would,
fiber optic.
that would take
Right.
care of the one line and not the tree.
Right.
Right. Tree, correct.
So we need to,
And Davy just came through this whole area, and I don't know why they didn't take care of that, so. Unfortunately, I have a bad feeling it's gonna happen again unless the homeowner wants to take the lead on this and actually have a tree service come out and take care of that limb.
And I don't know the ordinance right off the top of my head.
I believe the homeowner is wheelchair bound, so he doesn't get around very well. And the neighbor next door goes over and takes care of him all the time.
Wow,
So-
okay.
why don't we see if we at least,
Reach out to
Keep up with
NIPSCO.
Davies.
NIPSCO somehow.
Jocelyn, would you mind contacting your person at Davies?
Sure.
Okay.
Or I can too.
I'll make
I can-
a call tomorrow, just remind me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, as we know, NIPSCO is very red tape, and that's why I mentioned.
100%.
Right, because
Dispatch.
calling Davies isn't gonna get us anywhere, it's gonna have to come from NIPSCO.
Even
They're
if
gonna have to-
they call back to the Nipsto as well,
Right, right.
that's my thought, is the more, the more we squeak.
Oh, yeah, I totally, I agree 100%.
So I'll call somebody else.
So you'll call Nipsco and AdsNet?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, those, yeah, there's no reason why those should be hanging down still.
100%.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I thought it was AT&T, so I called Mike.
Yeah, it's Acme.
Okay,
Okay.
so we've got a plan there. So Josh, you'll call Davies.
Thank you.
You'll call Nipsco and AdsNet and we'll get things at least cleaned up there. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Any other public comment this evening?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Janelle Andre. I'm at 2811 East Michigan Boulevard. The Mary Fox Building, everyone else. I'm actually commenting about the dog park. I was actually just there today and my whole foot went in a hole. We've got handicapped that go there all the time. And we also we donated sales a while ago. I sent you the information, I believe. And I just sent more information earlier about how shade is very important. We have a lot of elderly that use that dog park. It's not even like younger people, and there's so many divots in, or if they go mow it tomorrow, which is their regular day, he's just going to put all these more holes in the ground. And I know we're not gonna fix the fence now, I understand it's late in the season, but at least if we can talk the street people into not mowing that one section, because I had the dog literally go under the fence the other day, and if,
And they'll have to look at this, at the fence to know where it is specifically.
and I'll be happy to, I'd be happy to meet with them. The sales, I think, is really important, especially with all those dogs that recently died, and, you know, that's like a lot of people's only time to get out too, and it should be a safe place, but the sun, it's really strong, so there's ways. I mean, I donated the sales. I don't know if you looked into it, if we could put them up,
I
or,
honestly have not had a lot of time to look into what the regulations would be on that, so I'll take that.
well, I just sent more information today too, and it's pretty much, they're doing, I don't know if you guys know shade sales, they're like those trains where water will go through it, you know, there's nothing of danger, it's a piece of fabric, basically. But it just provides shade, and dogs shouldn't be out, and really elderly shouldn't be out in that sun like that, but they wanna get out because they love their baby dogs, like I do, of course. So I just wanted to know, or if we could at least have the street people, if they're going to mow tomorrow, hopefully they don't. But if they do, just don't mow along that fence area and let it just grow. If it grows, then we don't have a dog going under there.
And I can see both sides of that. I don't know if
It's easier on them.
It really is something
Yeah.
that needs to be.
it should have been properly attended to before.
Yeah.
Part of the fences.
I took one of my own landscape timbers
And then moved it, I moved it over too.
and took it down there to try to block that fence up.
Yeah, he's been helpful, and, I mean, I was moving stuff around too, and I don't know if you guys know, but I put little zip ties on the fences where it was sticking out, because a lot of dogs, like, I don't let my dog socialize, it's pretty much along the fence, they run back and forth. It's safer. Right now, it's full of water and puddles, and my dog and even Duke, the other dog, they were just drinking from that, and you know, I stopped them, but that's gonna be wrong.
So the puddles that are there, we really can't do a whole lot about. I mean, that's partially due to what's underneath that area, and the way that the soil settles. So I don't think that there's gonna be anything, unless we want to resurface the entire park.
But if we let stuff grow, I mean, I take care of a house that basically is on farm land. And if we put rocks there, it's just gonna run into the grass, that's gonna be hard on the landscapers. But if we at least let the grass grow and let it get higher in that area, that's at least gonna absorb a lot of the water. And it's gonna stop puddling, and it's not gonna dogs try to go under the fence or through it, because they won't have contact there. Just in
I
that one
don't know, I
section,
have a dog that would try it anyway, so.
would go through all the grass and all the wild.
Yep.
But that's the way that,
I mean, that's.
but you, the owner, would stop it, you know? Even if we put a snow fence up there right now, so people wouldn't be going in, someone's gonna get hurt. That's what I'm worried about. You know, right now, because there's a lot of holes in the puddle, like I saw it, because I saw one of the dog actually go to drink in it, and I put my foot in today, I sent a picture, but it was like, I went all the way, you know, it went up to my ankle.
Is it that much of a concern that we should consider closing
Then I
it
was
for
gonna
a
say,
time?
we need
and
to
then
close the dog
right,
park for
yeah.
a time then until we can correct the safety issues.
But if you close the dog park, then, I mean, it's still gonna be there. If you let the grass grow on it.
But you're saying
there
there,
were two people there today.
you're
and
saying there's ruts that you're putting your feet in and we don't have enough shade and the dogs are drinking out of the puddles that are there,
They
so
grow there.
it seems to me like there's a lot of issues that maybe need to be addressed and it should be closed down until we can get these issues addressed.
Or let it grow.
But letting it grow doesn't fix the issue, because not only would my dog do
It
it,
fixes the issue in that area. Don't let all the grass grow.
It'll fix the water issue. And
It's
then
just the
other
water
thought
issue, I mean.
with the park board was the top rails of the fencing, order more of those on the bottom.
right.
In fact, I do have an estimate coming from Action, we don't have to do anything with it, but park board will review the estimate and see if it's gonna be worth it, so. I
And
think
depending
the
on
two in
costs.
combination will help from keeping something like this happening.
Yeah, because like I
But I
put
think the
garbage
concern
can there
would be in
today
the
to make sure no one goes
Right.
by it. You know, so that no one will go by the garbage can.
Yeah.
But
Why don't we have, who's the guy you were saying that's taking Joe's spot temporarily?
Dave Baker,
And do you have his contact and just,
I do.
just why
So I'll
don't we
just
mention
speak
it to
with
him and
Dave and see what he says.
Yeah.
come up with a plan?
yeah, because it's just that little section, and do you guys have like the orange snow fencing that you could just?
I don't know if he's got any of that or not.
Plastic?
I don't
We'd have
know.
to have it.
But again,
look at it.
that's easily taken down.
Right, I wanna come up with a permanent
I
solution,
think
not
that needs to
something
be something a
temporary,
little
right?
bit better
Yeah.
than
Does it
that.
just need a load of dirt? Is that?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Some, it's gonna keep going down. I mean, the house that I take care of, they do that, and it will still, if there's no settling there, unless you're gonna do a drain, and that's a pain to do, it's the sewering. But that's what just lets them grow right there, and let it absorb the source.
Okay, so we'll take it into consideration. I'll talk to Dave tomorrow to see, and I'll get with Josh Lane to get the photos so that we know where things are supposed to be unless, Dave's here tomorrow.
I don't
You don't?
have his
Okay.
schedule. Likely he is, he's usually here, yeah.
Okay, then I'll try to stop down early to get in touch with him.
Yeah, he is aware that we spoke about
Okay.
it.
And has he received the picture or no?
This is a new picture tonight, I mean, like literally.
Yeah, that just happened earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that just happened earlier. And then I met 2 new people that they're gonna be calling and joining. So it's it's also gonna be an income when people start joining, but then we're gonna, shut it down.
The unfortunate thing is that, it does, having a dog park like that does come with issues. It does come with a lot of maintenance, just like the other parks that we have. And, I think we talked about this at the park board, is that the money that we have there is limited, and it has to be spread across all of the parks. There is also a sign there at the dog park that I believe says that you're, as an owner, responsible for your dog's behaviors. So if they're not watching their dogs and they're digging, there's not a lot we can do to stop that other than close the park temporarily until we repair the issues. So there's a lot to take into consideration, but I'll try to get with Dave tomorrow to see what we can come up with in the meantime and go
Yeah,
from there.
that's a big deal in itself.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment this evening?
Yeah, I think I will. Mrs. Wesson, I have some issues with, I know we have rules and regulations regarding length of grass and overgrown. And we're seeing it more and more in our neighborhood. So.
What was your address?
Mine's 209 Plum.
Okay.
So I guess I'm asking, what are we going to do as a town about it when it's becoming consistent for some people?
So we do have our police department that goes out every Sunday and monitors different situations. If they see repeat addresses, normally Josh Lean's office would send out a letter to notify the resident of the ordinance violation.
And what do we do about rental properties?
Same thing.
And letter goes to the homeowner as well as the service address. So it goes to both. Yeah. So, doesn't mean they always cut it though. That's sometimes
Right.
the issue we run into. Yeah.
So that's,
Because this is bringing mosquitoes, ticks, all of these things into our neighborhoods
Okay.
that we really don't want.
so our next recourse of follow-up, if they still haven't, after the time period, the grace period that Josh Lean's office has in their letter, our next recourse would be to have our attorney send a letter.
Thank you.
What's the address that you're concerned about?
I'll discuss that after the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Much appreciated.
Because I can see if we've sent 1 or 2 letters.
Then we can look that up.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment this evening?
Yeah, there's a tree, excuse me, I'm Fred Billhauser.
Thank you, Mr. Bilhauser.
2510 Bigwood Ave. There's a tree over in my neighbor's yard that's mostly dead. It started to, the power lines fall down in the street. What I'm most concerned about is these big dead limbs falling down, trying to trick her or somebody walking by.
Yes, we've talked about that tree. You and I have, yes.
Just being up, but what does the town say? I believe that's on town property too.
It is half on town property, so I will speak with Mr. Baker about that tomorrow as well, and address the issue.
Okay.
Thank you.
And on another note, I've hired somebody to cut the grass till I get back on my feet.
Thank you.
I passed the curve.
Well, we will note that.
You're not to 4 inches yet.
We'll send our resident, yes. Clerk's comments.
I do have one. We had our budget meeting on August 7th. We discussed the need to file for additional appropriations for the NVH restricted fund and the lit public safety, which was the rest of salary in the lit fund, and then also NVH restricted. We did go ahead and you can ask for more but not use it all. So we asked for 40,000 in the NVH restricted, which is exactly where our cash is in that fund, so that we can utilize that for street
Okay.
We did ask the exact amount on the salary, which was $6,156.
Mhm.
And Riverboat, we asked for an additional 30.
Okay. Then those go to State Board of Accounts, correct? Those appropriation
They
requests?
have to go into the paper first, and then on the 28th, you guys will
Would
approve
approve
it
it, okay.
through an ordinance. And that's all I have.
Okay. Any council comments this evening?
I'd like to continue a little bit with the trees. Maybe what we should do is, and I haven't been obviously on for a bit, I don't know when the last time we've gone around town just to look, maybe again playgrounds, be a little more proactive to see, because I know there's probably others that have got, suspicious issues over the streets, so maybe, I don't know, we can put it on someone's to-do list to go through the parks. We've had those problems with parks where all of a sudden something comes down and the kids are playing and,
So the park board is going to tour the parks. They talked about that tonight.
okay.
So maybe the park board can take on that responsibility for their safety issues, and then we can have the street department.
Yep.
And maybe Steve, if your guys see trees.
In the past, they've actually had John's go and look, because that is probably something that should be done by a professional.
Okay.
It's just, they've gone and done, what do they call it, deadheading? Deadlifting. They've gone out and cut down things that look
Both on the streets and at
Yeah, that hasn't happened in a long time.
It's been very common, and it's quite concentrated.
I wouldn't want that on my shoulders.
If you would check again how much we have in that line item. Mhm. I know we have not a lot there, but
We do not, but I will.
it would be nice to know before we start looking at what that cost would be and making a promise we can't keep this year. So,
Right.
Any other comments from the council?
Yes.
Oh, from the council. Well, we'll go back to public
Okay, I'm sorry.
comment for you,
I
so
apologize.
if you'll stand up and state your name and address for us.
I'm Pete Weston, I'm at 209 Plum Street. I'm not sure whether this could be a council issue or a push, but a few years ago when we moved in, I saw some utilities running some lines down Johnson Street. I asked, what are they doing? They're putting in fiber optic for AT&T. And so there's fiber optic down there, but we don't have the fiber optic
Right.
in our towns. I'm not sure how that gets pushed or utilized for AT&T to add it. I don't know whether it's a town council issue or whatever, but I'm just curious about it because it would be nice to have it.
My knowledge on that subject is limited.
We talked about this.
Okay.
Go ahead, Pete, you know a lot more than that.
That's why I'm looking to.
So what AT&T does is they kind of pick and choose the areas that they want to run their fiber optic lines into. It's a state franchise fee that they pay, and they tend to choose the more affluent areas in town, so they are guaranteed to get their money back when they run their lines into an area. Don't know why they stopped here, maybe because Acme Communications and Comcast already have their lines here in town, and they feel that it's just not worth it to compete with two other people in the same area. Not sure why they didn't go into the neighborhood completely.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think our issue is, we're at the corner in Johnson,
Yeah,
and
but it runs
we
right down
can't
the
get
street.
AT&T, but why it runs there?
We can't get it, but.
Yeah.
But, and because I've had some issues with Comcast, I've had to fight them about certain things, and it would be nice to have an alternative.
Okay.
And that could be an alternative, and we have AT&T in our cell phones, and I went down there and said, well, can we get a cable, or not cable, but.
So the fiber,
But it's so slow there.
the fiber running there is completely different from actually having an access point for you to run it, for them to run it to your house.
Okay.
It's completely different infrastructure. So
But they would run it off of the fiber, and then. It seems like
if they have that particular infrastructure in place in that area, yes. But if they
It seems like
don't,
it's a main branch and then come out.
then they're not going to be able to run it to your actual
I
house.
was just curious about that, because it's kind of like, okay, here it is several years later, and they can call AT&T, want to, so yeah, we can get it in your area, and I waited and called back, and no, we don't have it in your area, so. But I'm just curious, what's the, how to get the ball rolling about that? And that's why I figured I'd at least ask,
Yeah, unfortunately, we as a council have no control over that. Like I said, it used to be where they would go into an area and they would pay the actual local government the franchise fee, but it's been probably 15, 20 years ago now, they lobbied downstate and now they pay the franchise, everything that gets paid. The franchise fee used to come right to the actual municipality, but now it all goes downstate and then it comes back.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so you got that money.
yes, that's how that works.
Hand.
Yes,
They're like
yes,
having a bunch of in-betweens.
correct.
I understand. I'm just curious, I wanted to kind of find out. All right, well, thank you.
The things we learn. All right, if no one else has any comments or questions this evening? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in September.